Today's Spotlight is brought to you in part by presenting sponsor, Busey Bank. Busey, your dream, our promise. You're watching Spotlight, and today I'm joined by Dr. Jessica Norman and Cassie Whitfield from Transformative Growth Counseling. So welcome.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Oh, super excited to hear about your organization. So I'm going to hop right in, Jessica, and I'm going to ask you, Transformative Growth Counseling, what makes it unique and a little bit different as a nonprofit here in Naperville?
Yeah, so like you said, we're a nonprofit, and that makes us a little different right off the bat as a counseling agency. And some of the other things that we focus on as part of our mission is community wellness and also clinical education.
Okay, so as you think about that, describe a little bit of some of the services maybe that you would offer up to the community.
Sure. So in addition to counseling, one of the things that we work on a lot is prevention and community wellness. So when it comes to community wellness, we collaborate and educate with many other different organizations. So that looks like universities, community colleges, local schools, Movember Foundation, Prevention Institute, and we collaborate with those agencies so that way we can offer something different to the community besides just one-on-one counseling. We know that communities need holistic wellness more than just individual counseling. So an example of this is with Kankakee Community College, we work with the veterans there hand in hand and with Dr. Stevenson over there to create a vet program that they requested, not that we created, that they requested, that gave them the opportunity to use leadership skills they'd already learned in the military to lead a group for themselves about resiliency and coping and learning and adjusting to civilian and college life. And then they took those skills and they're going to teach those to children. That's the leadership part, right? Within TGC, we have groups that we offer. That's a community type of program. So we offer groups for teenagers or LGBTQ different populations, and those programs are open access, which means if you have money to pay for those programs, that's great. And if you don't, that's okay, you can still attend. So for us, community wellness and our engagement in that leads into offering access, affordable access, to everyone, regardless of their financial background or their residency status.
Okay, so that's very interesting. So it's really, I mean, obviously you are offering one-on-one counseling as well, but your focus is much more pushing out into the community, being proactive and getting the community to engage in the wellness of their citizens, if you will.
Yeah, and so we kind of take a three-prong approach to helping communities. And so that first one is intervention of one-on-one counseling, and that second one is prevention, doing something before you need intervention, that's the community wellness, and then clinical training. So we spend about a third of our time in each of those sections. Clinical training means having some of the best interns that we can get from places like University of Chicago, Northern Illinois University, Roosevelt, etc., come to us for training.
Okay. Now that kind of leads perfectly into you, Cassie, because you're the director of training. Yes. So talk a little bit more about that training and what that looks like for the interns.
Yeah. So as the director of training, my job is to partner with some of these universities and collaborate with them to try to recruit some students that are interested in doing the work that Jessica just talked about. So students that are interested in becoming one-on-one therapists and counselors, but also students who are interested in doing some of this community level work or group work. So students that share our values, basically. So we go through that intern recruiting process, and we bring them on, and they become integrated into the fabric of our agency. And so the training program really is about their education, so making sure that they get the best clinical skills that we can give them, so building up their skills as a counselor so that they can then leave and go forth and become a good counselor for the community, but also getting them other skills that they may not get at other internships. So this community networking, community outreach, these groups, programs that Jessica was mentioning, and all the while making sure to emphasize a social justice lens, which is something that really represents our agency.
Okay. So, I mean, it's not only sort of on the job and training of me as an individual to go out and be able to do my career, but it's really you're trying to sort of give them those networking skills, kind of bring them into the whole fabric of a community and understanding what that looks like to kind of pay that out a little bit further forward.
Yes.
Yeah, and specifically going off what Cassie said, what we're looking to do is that social justice angle. We work very hard to make sure that the interns that we work with and that come to training for us understand that it's possible to help people, help communities, and to do that and with the social justice frame of mind, and to do that with kindness and compassion first. instead of maybe some of the other motivators that people get into different fields for, like money, right?
Okay.
Counseling is not typically a field you get into for money, especially not nonprofit,
Right.
work. But we look for students who fit this model of someone who sees that wellness is beyond just an individual. It's so much more than that, and they want to be involved in it, and they want to see the world change.
Nice. Well, now let's kind of follow up on that a little bit, because obviously you are still offering individual counseling, and oftentimes, people will seek that out if they're experiencing anxiety or depression. But what might be some of the other reasons or things going on in people's lives that would cause them to want to come and seek out the work that you're doing?
Sure. So we have people come in obviously for anxiety and depression, but we have a lot of other great specialties that might be otherwise hard to find outside of typical counseling practice stuff like mood, depression, other common things. So some of those specialties include like trauma, rapid resolution trauma therapy, PTSD. We do a lot of couples work, non-monogamous and poly relationships, so open relationships, LGBTQIA specific issues, child therapy, different types of past abuses when you were a child or sexual abuse.
Those are all offered at your centers, and is that offered both here in Naperville, and you mentioned you had 3 other facilities right around the area?
Yes, so we have all those specialties in Naperville, Chicago, Rochelle, and Kankakee.
Okay, all right. And if people had questions about what you're offering, whether maybe it's they thinking about an internship or they're thinking that they might be needing some counseling, where should they go? What should they do?
So they can check us out at our website, which is transformativegrowth.org, and we have pages that are specifically explaining some of these programs that Jessica mentioned and telling about the different services that we provide. And there's also information on how to reach us there and a phone number as well.
Okay. So it sounds like we've got everything organized. We know how to find you. And obviously you're doing a lot of good work in the community and really trying to put that wellness piece out there in front, both for individuals and for the community at large, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. And if you would like to learn more about Transformative Growth Counseling and the services they offer our community, please go and visit their website. We're going to take a quick break, but stay tuned. We're coming right back with more Spotlight.